Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome around the globe to Kangen Water Radio, featuring the Kangen Water Health and Information International Call, where we consider, clarify, and often correct the conventional wisdom around Kangen water technology, the different machines, the science behind water types, uses, and benefits, the testing process, the maintenance and cleaning of the machines, and much, much more. We also explore a plethora of other topics as we teach, promote, and discuss the three-pronged approach to health and wellness: hydration, detoxification, and complete macro and micro nutrition. I'm family physician Dr. Lisa Paddle Singletary, your virtual keto coach, and I will be joined by my co-host and fearless leader, Mr. Terrence Hope, an Magic 6A distributor extraordinaire, and together we bring you the best of both worlds. This is call number 425, and we are talking about heart health today. So the title of this call is Guard Your Heart. And it is Wednesday, September 15th. So can you believe it? We're halfway through the 9th month of 2021. So amazing times that we are in. I am just a little discombobulated, just making sure everything's in the right place. But I have a lot of wonderful articles for you today, and we're going to take. I actually surveyed the health news, heart health news, and I pulled up some articles for you that are really fresh. But also, as a result of the last article of the first part, which is what is affecting our heart health and what can help it, I have some awesome articles on one of my favorite aspects of Kangen water. So stand by, jump on in, the water's fine. Okay, so heart health. We're going to start. Let me get this screen share situation going. All right, so we're going to start. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Right here, because this is the first article I pulled up. And I have known for a long time that your gum disease affects heart disease. And I remember the first time I heard it, it was well after medical school. We weren't thinking, or we weren't being taught this way at all in medical school. But, and I was thinking, how are they going to put this together? But as you might imagine, because we're getting to not just the correlations of different aspects of our health and our diseases, but we're getting to the root of them. And we know that one of the roots, a huge, major root, is chronic inflammation. So I scanned this article, More Evidence Ties Gum Disease with Heart Disease. And this came from research out of Sweden. And they've been researching gum disease. And this was a follow-up study. Now, we like to do review articles more so than individual studies, but this was a pretty big study. It included 1,600 participants. And when I say pretty big for an individual study. When we study review articles, they might cover 100 100,000 participants when you add up all of the individuals and all of the research. But they did this research over about 6 years, and dental examinations showed 985 had good dental health, 489 had moderate periodontitis. Now, whenever you see itis, what does that mean? That means inflammation. So during this average of 6 years, people with gum disease were 49% more likely to die from any cause, having a non-fatal heart attack or stroke, or to develop severe heart failure. So those are some pretty big odds there, 49% more likely. Now, did they come to the same conclusion we have as far as the importance of inflammation? Well, look at this paragraph right here. The researchers suspect that damage to the gum tissue in people with gum disease may allow germs to enter the bloodstream. And here's the quote: "This could accelerate harmful changes to the blood vessels and or enhance systemic inflammation that is harmful to the vessels." So they're starting to get a clue, right? And you know, the dentists are the front of the pack with a lot of the research that really interests us. So let's look at something else. So that's your gum disease tied with heart disease. All right, what else might be tied with heart disease? Well, let's see. Let's keep on going down the gastrointestinal tract, right? We go from our gums, our mouth, down into the gut. High-fat diet, gut bacteria, and heart disease, exploring the connection. So here are the bullets. A high-fat diet disrupts the inner workings of the gut, and this may contribute to cardiovascular disease risk, according to a recent study. So again, this is a study. Once, let's just keep on. The researchers investigated the link between greasy diets, gut microbes, and the risk of developing heart diseases. This was in mice. The findings may shed light on the exact mechanism through which high-fat diets increase the risk of cardiovascular disease. And this is what we also want to know: how to prevent these negative outcomes. So high-fat diets, such as the one that includes plenty of fast foods, and Mr. Hope has a slide in his deck on the standard American diet. And, you know, we question how much of it is really food. It increases the risk of cardiovascular diseases. This type of diet interferes with normal functioning in the gut and promotes the growth of harmful microbes. And then what happens to them? These microbes, so many things happen. They convert chemicals in fatty foods into harmful metabolites that promote atherosclerosis. They trigger the immune system when the gut becomes leaky, and these harmful chemicals and bacteria leave the lumen of the gut, which is where they're supposed to stay, and cross into the tissues of the intestines and gain access to our immune system, triggering all kinds of problems, as well as our bloodstream. Our gut bacteria not being happy will change the neurotransmitters that they secrete. I mean, so many things happen. So that is another factor in heart disease. Here's another one. High levels of stress hormones may raise the risk of hypertension and cardiovascular disease. No surprise there, right? So here are the bullets. The body's hormonal response to experiencing stress is a natural function that humans and animals have in common. So we're supposed to have stress. It helps to protect us. It helps us to run from the bear, right? But it's not supposed to last over long periods of time. Excessive levels of stress hormones, such as norepinephrine, epinephrine, dopamine, cortisol, can adversely affect people's health. A new study suggests that higher levels of stress hormones may have links to an increased risk of high blood pressure and cardiovascular events. This study was published in Hypertension, the journal Hypertension, and Medical News Today did a summary of what those neurotransmitters, catecholamines, what those hormones do, including constricting our blood vessels, increasing heart rate and the force of contraction, relaxing our airway muscles. That's why we give epinephrine to people in having an asthma attack, and affecting the metabolism of glucose. How many times has someone said, oh, I'm going to get a steroid shot for my knee, and their glucose goes way out of control? Well, that's one of the side effects of steroids. All right. I think that's enough of the bad news. I mean, if you Google heart health, what did I Google? Heart health news. That's what I Googled. Heart health news articles. You'll find dozens more articles, and many of them are showing things all around us that are affecting our heart health. Oh, there was this one. Again, no surprise, but your job can affect your heart health. And another article, where you live can affect your heart health. Just so many things. Why? Because this chronic stress and chronic inflammatory response is underneath it all. Here's some good news. And this article just came out August 24th. Why water is key to your heart's health. Ding, 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 ding. All right. So I'm not going to read this whole article to you, but where there was a paragraph that I really liked in this article, but basically they're linking the article to not only sodium levels, which a lot of people, when I say people, I mean physicians, nutritionists, et cetera, a lot of people in the medical system villainize sodium. There are levels of that, but sodium is, I mean, it's something that every cell needs, every muscle twitch needs, just about every cell function. Just to get energy in the cell, the main enzyme is sodium potassium ATPase. So sodium is critical for our body's health. And I believe that we should salt to taste. Why is that? Because our tongues are amazing chemical receptors. And I can't prove this, but I believe that the salt, when you need salt, your tongue wants you to eat salty foods, right? Or when you find foods are too salty for you, you don't need the salt. I've seen it many, many times anecdotally. I haven't looked up that research, and I don't know if anybody's doing the research. But my point is, salt is not something to be afraid of. Salt is something we need. But in excess, it can be a problem. So that is one of the things that they say that water, one of the benefits of water in heart health. But there are others. When you are dehydrated, many body functions from your brain, from your kidneys, your blood vessels, many body functions are affected when you become dehydrated immediately. And then they put out hormones and neurotransmitters and create conditions to increase the blood pressure, because your brain is designed to be protected from a drop in your blood pressure, but that means it's going to elevate your blood pressure, whether that's from a sudden shock and you're going to faint and you end up on the floor. And as soon as you hit the floor, you wake up like, ooh, well, when you had that shocking experience, your brain noticed that your parasympathetic nervous system was absolutely paralyzed. Your sympathetic nervous system was overwhelmed, and your blood pressure, your blood was redirected to other areas other than your brain. Your brain is not having it. And it's like, nope, you need to drop right now. And evolutionarily, I could see how that's a protection. You know, if you can't run away from the bear, then it's kind of good to faint and play dead, right? If hopefully the bear is not going to be interested in you under those circumstances. But the effect of water and the effect of dehydration in your body is universally important to every organ, to like I said, every heartbeat, every muscle twitch. There's a delicate chemical balance that ideally, if you're in optimal health, will be in very narrow parameters. And we call that homeostasis, when you're in the normal range and all of these things. And one thing that gets out of balance will affect the entire system to make up for the balance. Doesn't get it back into balance, but it's doing things to make up for the imbalance that happened, until you can change the situation. Until you can drink more water, your pulse rate's going to go up, you know, things like that. All right. So that exploration of the news about heart health and what affects heart health, and that article that I found about water, made me think of some other articles that I have them in my archives, and I bring them out from time to time. But I really wanted to share them today. So these articles for instance, this is some research out of Japan. And this is an old article. This is 2012, but you know, we take what we can get and then we move on. So, advanced research on the health benefit of reduced water. You got to love that. And I'm going to skip forward to the conclusions. And here are conclusions and perspective. Remember, this is 2012. So we're almost 10 years later. Accumulating evidence has shown that reduced waters are health beneficial, and they suppress oxidative stress-related diseases such as diabetes, cancer, arterial sclerosis, neurodegenerative diseases, and the side effects of hemodialysis. And let me tell you, that is a very short list. Mechanism of action of reduced water for scavenging reactive oxygen species. We've talked about ROSs. are considered to be complicated. ERW, electrolyzed reduced water, contains hydrogen molecules and mineral nanoparticles. So there's much, much more about that, but I love that article. This article, this is the latest article that I've picked up. Now, this article is a clinical trial, so it's not a review article. And it's a small clinical trial, but it's a clinical trial in humans. And here's the title: Hydrogen-rich water reduces inflammatory responses. That's a good thing, right? And prevents apoptosis of peripheral blood cells. What is apoptosis? Programmed cell death of peripheral blood cells, that's blood cells in your extremities, in healthy adults, a randomized double-blind controlled trial. So they were looking at the effect, they were looking for evidence of beneficial effects of drinking hydrogen water as opposed to plain water. And they were given this, the healthy adults were given 1.5 liters, either of hydrogen water or plain water, for 4 weeks. And they took measurements at the baseline, they took measurements after 4 weeks. And they found that in the hydrogen water group, apoptosis was significantly less. The antioxidant potential of the person was greater, and the inflammatory response was down-regulated. These findings suggest that hydrogen water increases antioxidant capacity, thereby reducing inflammatory responses in healthy adults. Now, let's look at a couple of reviews. This is probably my favorite one. I've brought this to you before. Molecular hydrogen, a preventive and therapeutic medical gas for various diseases. And I'm definitely going to put this in the show resources. Molecular hydrogen, a therapeutic antioxidant, and beyond. So many things are starting to validate molecular hydrogen, the molecular hydrogen aspect, as well as the electrolyzed reduced aspect of the water. So I just wanted to, and not only validate them, but specifically tie them directly into specific diseases such as cardiovascular disease. So, Mr. Hope,
Dr. Singletary.
welcome you to the call. Our fearless leader, Enagic 6A distributor extraordinaire, health influencer and advocate to the globe, to the stars, Mr. Terrence Hope. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Lisa Singletary. And thank you for welcoming me in. Let's try to got caught up there. But I'm so glad to be here, and so glad to be here with all those who have joined us around the world. I can see we've got many participants throughout the United Kingdom, throughout the United States, from Africa, Nigeria, Uganda, Dubai, India. So we are well participated today, and glad to have you all on board. And Dr. Singletary, I'm so glad to have you here. Dr. Lisa Singletary is our board certified physician who has now retired from regular practice, but given her time over to talking about health and nutrition to the general public, and tying that into the medical understanding so that you can have the best of both worlds, as we always call it, the nutrition and health information that you oftentimes don't hear about from your medical professional, while understanding how the body functions properly, the mechanisms of disease, the functions of the organs, and how proper nutrition ties directly into your body's full function and ability. And it's so key to have. Yeah. So Dr. Singletary, we're so thankful for the information you provide today. And we're so thankful for the subject matter you brought up today on heart health. You know, as I listened to you speak today, it made me think about a few things as we begin to talk about Kangen water. So here on the Kangen Water Health and Information Call, we are here as well to talk about Kangen water, how it works, how it functions in the body, how to use the machines properly, and the difference between the machines. Um, and as well, of course, we want to be very thorough to go over all the health information that you need to understand how the body works. You know, so we need water because, of course, that is key to the function of the body, and we need proper nutrition. Man does not live on water alone, and of course, we don't live on bread alone either. Yeah, you know, but we want to know what all these things are. We want to be very clear, and we want to bring all that information to you. So I'm so thankful for the information that Dr. Singletary has provided on heart health. She talked about things about heart disease, gum disease, things that can be affecting us within our mouth, um, inflammation that can build up because of the kind of foods we're taking in, junk foods, and many other items that we ingest on a regular basis that we can't really be sure are really actually foods. You know, when we look at our junk food supplies, even these fast food systems that are available around the country, McDonald's and all this type of thing. And there's a new culprit on the horizon that people are telling me about recently called Popeyes fried foods. And some of our UK residents have traveled over to the US and enjoyed that delicacy, you know, but it's not the best thing for you, yeah? So there are many things that can affect our heart. There are many things that can affect our general health. And we want to make sure we're doing those things that are best for our bodies. Full nutrition, organic foods, nutritious foods, non-junk foods are best for us. And you know, Dr. Singletary, as you mentioned today, um, the heart health, what came to my mind as well was something regarding L-arginine, which is an amino acid. And that amino acid is known to produce, you allow your body to produce something called nitric oxide. And this nitric oxide is a gas, which then allows for the dilation or expansion of our circulation systems, thereby allowing for better blood flow, better oxygen flow, and a better off overall circulation system. And that can certainly help in the environments where we do have high toxic loads, the circulation system can become impaired and as well affect the heart. But I might go into some more detail about that a little bit later on. But Dr. Singletary, thank you so much for highlighting information that we need to know about our body's health and organs, and today, circulation and the heart. So for those who are on the call today, I'm going to go ahead and go over our Kangen water machines. And those who are new on the call, because I see a new participant, which I'm glad to see. I am Terrence Pope, 6A distributor with Kangen Water, the Enagic Kangen Water Company. And I maintain distributorships in several countries around the world. Many persons contact me on a regular basis. I've been one of the foremost experts on the health information regarding Kangen water, how to use them properly. And I teach distributors worldwide a better understanding of what that is, and allow for our customers to have a true understanding of the definition of Kangen water and how to use it properly. So I'm very happy and glad to go over that with you today. So as you can see, our PowerPoint slides are showing right now, and we're looking at the Kangen water machines, and our very famous motto is change your water, change your life. Yes, because the kind of water you take into the body can dictate the functions of the cells, and water is responsible for all the function of the cells. Without it, there is no function of the cells. So drink up. Yeah, very important. It's good for you. So let's see now. Kangen water. Change your water, change your life. Yes. Now, Dr. Singletary just highlighted a couple of quick articles there at the end of her presentation, where she talked about reduced water. She talked about electrolyzed reduced water, And she showed some science reviews that showed its ability to remove oxidative stress. What we're talking about there again is inflammation, high toxicity, high toxicity, and those things that can impair your cell function. High toxic loads produce high pH imbalances, which can impair your body's ability to maintain pH equilibrium. Electrolyzed reduced water is what Kangen water is in science terms. So electrolyzed reduced water is the term you want to look up when you want to understand what the health benefits are of our Kangen water machines. What is electrolyzed reduced water? Electrolyzed reduced water is produced in a process known as electrolysis, yes? And electrolysis is a process where electricity comes in direct contact with the water molecule. So I've highlighted in yellow, so you can see that electricity is the key part of what the term is affecting our water. And the process is known as electrolysis. And the term for the water affected by electricity becomes electrolyzed reduced water. So electrolyzed reduced water is what Kangen water is. This is one of our Kangen water machines, very famously known as the SD501. Our machines have 7 different levels of water production. There are 3 levels for antioxidant use, the 8.5, the 9.0, and the 9.5. There's a neutral pH water that we call clean water, very good for uses of other types where you don't want to do a detoxification. Acidic water is the yellow marker here, also known as beauty water. Beauty water is one of the settings on the machine shown here that you use on your skin and on your hair. It will allow for the elimination of bacteria under the pores, and that will kill bacteria and as well allow your pores to tighten up. Therefore, your skin can smooth out. Ergo, we refer to it as beauty water. Excellent for your skin, excellent for your hair. A major feature that has become very popular over the past 12, 16 months, since we have all these health crises going on, is our strong acid water feature here in orange on the tag listed on the machine, in an orange feature to be correlated with the pH level of the strong acid water at a 2.5 pH. And the water is helpful in killing viruses. So you can spray your countertops, your doorknobs, your different surface areas that you might touch, and it will kill viruses, bacteria, and is known to kill some of the deadliest viruses that exist, also known as hypochlorous acid. This acid will keep your home sanitized, yes? So different functions of the water. This is the Kangen 8 machine, also known as the K8. It's our newest model for the past maybe 6-7 years. It has a universal power supply system, so that if you want to travel with this machine to any country in the world, you can plug it into any electrical socket without the use of a power converter. Excellent to use, keep your machine safeguarded, excellent for travel. Once again, this is our SD501. It's been our flagship machine for the past 30 years, 20 years, a long time, yeah? Very popular unit. This is our platinum SD501. It has a metallic surface on the exterior. It is the same as our SD501 and its inner workings, just a different coating on the outside for decorative purposes. The Kangen 8 machine, as its name might lend to, has 8 plates on the electrical circuit. The SD501 has 7 of these platinum wrapped metal plates on the circuit. The more metal plates you have in the electrical circuit, the stronger the antioxidant effect the water has. Either of these machines have enough plates to give you the antioxidant effect that's powerful for your health benefits. If you want the features of the Kangen 8, you get the Kangen 8. If you want the SD501 and don't require the extra features of the Kangen 8, you get the SD501. If you want to be more decorative for your home, you get the stainless steel if it matches your furniture, which is some reason why some people purchase it. Great machine, same as the SD501. So once again, Kangen water, what is it? Electrolyzed reduced water produced in a process known as electrolysis, where electricity comes in direct contact with water. Yes, there's many science reviews, as Dr. Singletary referenced in her presentation, and you can look up what Kangen water is by referencing electrolyzed reduced water, and you will see over 13 to 14,000 different science reviews, clinical trials, many papers on the Kangen water, not as a brand name Kangen water, but under its science term, we refer to as electrolyzed reduced water, right? So what's happening in our machines? In our machines, the water is being hit with electricity. So you hit water with electricity, and this example here, I'm using lightning striking a body of water in the wild, which is also where you'll get an electrolysis affecting your water in the wild, ponds, lakes, and so forth. And when you do that, you're going to take H2O. This is a little diagram of an H2O molecule. You're going to hit that with electricity, kapow, as I like to say. And then the molecule will break down into its elements. So you have H2O here, and it's going to break down into H2Os, OH, and H+. This OH is something we use as a measuring tool for the overall volume of the antioxidant molecules within Kangen water. The more antioxidant molecules or ions we have in the water, the stronger the antioxidant effect. Yes? And so let me check this. And the antioxidant effect. So as we go forward, we see here that, there we go. So overall diagram, water hit by electricity breaks down into its elements, right? Of H2O breaking down to its elements of OH negative and H+. We look for this OH negative molecule because it is an alkaline molecule, and we use it as a measuring tool of the overall volume of antioxidant ions in the water. And our purpose of Kangen water is to have an antioxidant ion water. And then here you have a description, a little diagram of what happens as water restructures with these antioxidant ions and hydroxide ions complex, right? So electrolysis looks like this inside our machines, and you're going to produce these antioxidant ions in the process of electricity hitting the water. And once again, much evidence of that. What you're looking for is an antioxidant water. We have a meter known as an ORP meter, oxidative reduction potential meter. And on that meter, you're going to see a negative or positive number. Here, little diagram depicts negative numbers going for Kangen, positive numbers going for things that are toxic. Kangen water can go as high as at 800 ORP, showing you that it's an antioxidant substance. Toxic elements can go very high as well on the positive side. The higher the negative number, the stronger the antioxidant effect, the more beneficial the substance is for you. Like green tea depicted here, as well as vitamin C. The greater the positive number of a liquid substance like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, whatever those things are, and they are very oxidizing. They can cause high toxic buildups within the body. Avoid them. They're not good for you. Stay with Kangen water. It's highly beneficial. Detoxing, yes? So your body is mostly water. The kind of water you have in your body will dictate its cell function. Now with Kangen water, you have an antioxidant water expelling toxicity on a regular basis from your different organs, allowing for your body to be better able to maintain pH balance. I'll mention something about this in a second. So here's an example of a fish tank for those who like to keep aquariums and pets of fish in the home. They can become highly toxic and build up from toxicity from the fish. You must filter that out so your fish stay healthy. In the same way, you must keep the body healthy by keeping it detoxed. Here's an example of many of the different types of junk foods that are harmful to our bodies. Dr. Singletary referenced that in her presentation. We're looking at processed foods. This is like a good example of maybe something you might find at McDonald's or Burger King or some fast food establishment. And these foods, in some cases, I don't know if I could even describe them as food. I mean, where are they getting all these cows to make these billions of burgers? They're feeding people every day. I find it quite impossible to keep that's likely to be real food. I'm saying that, yes, I am. So you got to be careful of these types of things. Look out for junk foods that build up toxicity within the body. Dr. Singletary mentioned the high fatty diets that can cause disruptions in your digestive system, in your stomach acid production. So, things to be cautious of. Things like soda. Here's a good example of the billions that are served worldwide, like in Coca-Cola, actually cause a direct disruption of your stomach acid production, as well as a high toxic buildup of strong acid that can cause a leaching of calcium and magnesium from your bones, so that your body can try to rebalance your pH as it goes out of balance. And this is, of course, long-term harmful. You can end up with things like arthritis and osteoporosis because of that. And any kind of chronic illness can occur when your body is dealing with a pH imbalance. Yeah. So here's a good example of the different organs within the body and their pH level. What is your pH? It's a range of acid to non-acid in your body. Some organs in your body are alkaline. Some organs in your body are acidic. And these organs that are acidic must stay acidic to be healthy. There's a lot of rhetoric that's been going around that says your body is alkaline. Drink alkaline water, eat alkaline foods, and you'll be healthy. It's not accurate, because the body is not entirely alkaline. And Kangen water, although it has an alkaline pH to read the strength of its antioxidant molecules, is not alkalizing your body, and we don't want to do that. Kangen water, as an electrolyte reduced water, is detoxing your body and allowing it to have a more toxic-free environment where it is better able to maintain its pH balance. High toxicity can throw off that ability of the body. So look at this. Different organs in the body. We'll look over here. Lower stomach, small intestines, large intestines, ranging in the 4.0 to 7.0 range. Lower stomach from 1.5 to 4.0. These are acidic ranges. And in these cases, acidic to neutral with the intestines. So these are must stay acidic to be healthy. Look over here at the stomach, yeah? Gastric secretion, 1.0 to 3.5. That's the acidic range. Anything below a 7 on the scale of pH is considered to be acidic. Anything above a 7 is considered to be alkaline or non-acidic, right? So the heart has to be where? 7.0 to 7.5. It's above a 7. That means it's an alkaline range, but very specific. It does not mean that the higher the pH, the better. It means that it's a specific level that happens to be in the alkaline range. Look here at the arterial blood. It says 7.4 to 7.45. Capillary blood, 7.35 to 7.4. So you're looking at alkalinity levels on one side, you're looking at acidic levels on another, right? So the body has to stay at pH balance in all the organs, and some of those organs are acidic. So remember, you're not alkalizing your body with a Kangen water, you're detoxing the body, and the body maintains pH balance on its own, and we help that along by maintaining a toxic-free environment. Why do we do that more so with Kangen water for us? Because we're in a highly toxic environment and we've been eating highly toxic foods. And we're not eating the things our body's has been designed to ingest, yeah? So watch out for the open market where they've got water bottles on the market, where they're selling you an alkaline water. Those waters are only propped up to mimic the term that's been referred to as Kangen, because Kangen has been called alkaline, yet misunderstood. And since the water bottling companies realize that no one knows the difference between an electrically affected water and what they're producing in their water, which is a mineralized affected water, they figure they can sell you something alkaline, you won't know the difference, you'll drink it anyway, and they'll make a profit, which is what they've been doing. So Kangen water is affected by what? Electricity. What is alkaline water in a bottle affected by? They simply take alkaline minerals, put them in the water so they can call it alkaline, and then give it to you, and you think it's beneficial. But the healthy water you heard about that was alkaline was actually Kangen electrically affected water, not mineralized bottled water. So be careful out there. Don't drink those alkaline waters in the stores. Some of them have minerals in them that are not absorbable to the body. So you end up with calcium buildup that can lead to pH imbalances, which is the very thing we're trying to get you away from by drinking a detoxing water. But in these cases, you can have calcium buildup that can cause, problems in the cells and organs that can lead to various types of toxic issues. Well, an imbalance that can lead to cell dysfunction and organ dysfunction. So be careful, all right? Some of these things they're using inside these alkaline waters in the bottles are not actually bioavailable. Some of them are inorganic, synthetic, and they can cause toxicity within your body within themselves. So be careful about what they've got on the market. Your body is self-healing. The animals in the wild eat and drink produce, fruits and vegetables, and protein. That's what the body is designed to have. And they're healthy because of it. There's no McDonald's, there's no junk food, there's no candy. So they stay healthy. We eat all kind of junk. That's why we're not healthy as we should be. Get back to nature, eat those things you should be eating, and you'll be healthy. And we'll go over details in many of our calls. Come back and see us again. We'll talk about what foods are good and what foods are bad, okay? If you get a scratch to your hand or finger, you put a Band-Aid on it to keep it clean, and your skin will heal itself. You just wait a few days to see how it's healed. If there's a fracture or deep break to the bone, take a look at that, and we put a cast on it to keep it still, so that as it heals itself, it heals evenly. But there's no magic bullet to what we're doing. The body is already self-healing. You are the cure. Your body is a self-healing mechanism. Give it full nutrition, detoxification. On occasion, you might use some herbal remedies, to deal with bacteria and so forth, but it'll take care of itself and keep itself healthy, right? So that's how the body works. That's what we want to do. Offline throughout the UK, give me a ring at 0800-086-9793. That's 0800-086-9793 throughout the UK and throughout Europe and Africa. I like using that phone number because that is the best number to reach me worldwide. In the USA, give me a call, 866-526-4368, 866-526-4368. I'll answer your questions offline there as well. For those who've joined us from Dubai, for which we have a large contingent, 0800-018-589. It's 0800-018-589 in Dubai. Those are our lines, and these are our websites. So you can take a look at our machines at kangenwaternation.com, kangenwaterlondon.co.uk for the UK, and in Europe as well, and of course specifically in Dubai, Kangen Water Dubai. So worldwide, any of these websites will give the information you need. You can contact me through that, contact our team through it, get a free ebook, get a brochure, explains something about the water machines. Call me, I'll go over details, and we'll ship machines out to you worldwide. So once again, happy to be here. Happy for Dr. Singletary to be here. Happy to take your questions. So we're going to go into Q&A mode in a moment. You can go ahead and click your little chat box, raise your hand. We'll see your hand is raised. We'll take your questions. We'll go over things about the heart, things about Kangen water, things that are beneficial, how the machines work. Ask every question, ask any question, because something we don't go over, when you ask a question, help someone else when we answer. So everyone can participate, have fun, have at it. We are worldwide. Love to have you. And thank you for joining us. Dr. Singletary.
Thank you, Mr. Hope. Awesome comments. I meant to mention your deep dive on Saturday, how awesome that information was, and to have such an extended time really diving into that. I didn't mean the pun there, but really diving into Kangen water. So I appreciate your expertise on the topic. I saw G. Gabriel flashed a hand, and then he took it back.
Come on, G. Gabriel, ask us a question. just love to hear from everyone.
I see you.
We're going to unmute you anyway. Godfrey Gabriel from the UK, welcome, my friend. Good to hear from you. Good to see you over there. You can go ahead and unmute yourself for a second. Just say hi to us. You just unmute yourself on your computer there.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Dr. Hope, how are you? Good to see you again.
Doing very well, my friend Godfrey. Good to hear you and good to see
Fantastic.
you.
I was just simply applauding your session there. It wasn't an actual. I want to say something, but yeah, thanks for the
Well, yeah, I'm
opportunity.
very thankful for that. Thankful for
We
that. How's your
appreciate
Kangen
that.
water
And
machine doing over in the UK? Everything good with your machines?
it's doing fantastic, and I'm taking interests from friends and family, and business partners. So we'll be speaking soon.
Very good, very good. Love to see it. Thank you for joining in and
Fantastic
giving us a word.
mentor. Dr. Lisa Singletree,
Yes, sir.
good to make your acquaintance.
It's a pleasure.
And yeah, it's a fantastic topic you've raised today. It's one of interest. I recently visited an uncle of mine, and the symptoms are two very swollen legs from ankle to knee. Now, Dr. Hope, can this be reversed? And the skin is very solid as well, I must say. It's a condition that scares me, to be fair.
Yes. Well, I've said on a call a few times that when I see someone, and I'm not practicing medicine currently,
No.
I've retired, but
Yeah.
through the years, the art of physical diagnosis, something that interested me very, very much. And one of the primary signs that catches my attention when it comes to someone's health is their ankles, is their swelling there. And as you've described, the swelling is not just limited to the ankles, but or in the feet, but all the way up to the knee. So
yeah.
we're talking years and years and years of oxidative stress, years and years and years of blood vessel damage. But I have to say, I've seen amazing turnarounds when the three-pronged approach is fully applied. Now,
Three-pronged approach. Okay.
yes, that's hydration, detoxification, and complete nutrition. And often, very often, the things that will turn this around don't even cost money, right? It's getting the diet into check. And one of the articles that I had, and I'll just pull it up quickly, was called Nutrients and Oxidative Stress. And it talks about the effect of the different nutrients that we take in and how glucose, sugar, carbohydrates, bread, pasta, starches, all the delicious things, quote unquote, and addictive things affect our entire bodies, causing oxidative stress. It affects your brain, your thinking, your emotions, your gut function, your cardiovascular function. It affects your arteries, your veins, your capillaries are at, we did a talk on the kidney, and I showed a slide of what happens to kidney capillaries when, and of course, you got capillaries all over your body, but when a capillary bursts, the damage to the area immediately multiplies or compounds there was oxidative stress in the first place, which caused the damage, but now you've got multiplied oxidative stress in the area. So if you can stop hurting yourself, I'm not saying you, but a person, step one, stop hurting yourself, look at the good food, bad food list, and avoid at all costs the bad foods: wheat, barley, rye, oats, the gluten. We had another slide that showed the effect of gluten in the intestines and how it damages the lining of your gastrointestinal tract. And so you can't absorb the little bit of nutrition that might be in your food. Just, it's a vicious cycle that just has been going over decades now.
Which is why I asked, can it be, redressed,
Absolutely. I'm going to say absolutely, but it depends on the person. Now, I took care of, on a daily basis for 8 years, a very stubborn man, my father. And I was his caretaker for 8 years. And just before I got to the house, he had started developing kidney failure and diabetes, and he had swelling and, all of the things. And we got a Kangen water machine. Well, actually, I had a friend. Now, this is a friend who would drive 75 miles one way to bring me 5 gallons of water. Right. And he drank the water and he found his kidneys were working and he had to go to the bathroom. And he was like, I can't take Holly's water because it's making me go to the bathroom. Like, that's a good thing. Your kidneys weren't working. Now they're working. He developed diabetes, and I taught him really about how to eat with diabetes, always highlighting the protein and the vegetables, like Mr. Hope said, and, really cutting down the carbs, but he would not cut them out. And I think he'd be alive today if he would have been a little less hard-headed. But yeah, his legs had it was like a wood consistency to the skin of his legs. Yeah. Well, it's just fluid. It's fluid. It's oxidative stress.
I don't understand how fluid can be so solid. It's funny, fluid creates a solid mass.
Yeah. Well,
fluid.
Your cells are like the fish in the pond that Mr. Hope likes to show us. Cells are like the fish, right? And they're swimming around in the water, and the water is exchanged and flowing, and the wastes get taken away, and everything is nice. But if the water stops flowing, the filter gets, so if we're talking like an aquarium, the filter gets clogged. Then not only are the fish affected, but all the water they're swimming in are affected. So each cell can only get to a certain size. And once it gets to that size, it's squeezing up against another cell. And the pressure that occurs, it's the same pressure that makes a tree, hundreds of feet tall. Trees have a little more stability with the cellulose with their cell walls, but the cells can only get so big, but the pressure is still, with every heartbeat, more pressure is going into that leg than is coming out. Now, if he kept his feet up for several hours, some of that swelling would go down. But as soon as he sits up, it's going to start filling back up because
he has a recliner. Okay.
Yeah, because your arteries, this is the difference between arteries and veins. Arteries pump blood away from the heart and into the cells, and they're muscular, right? So they push the blood along. Veins don't have that musculature. And I mean, in their walls, they're very, very thin, very, very.
They work based on pressure and capillary action, as we call it.
Yes.
Well, I'm just talking about the structure. The structure.
Oh, structure.
Okay.
It doesn't have the muscle, so it can't make the blood go in the right direction. So it's fighting, your veins are fighting gravity. And the only thing they have to keep the blood from backing up is the valves. So when your heart beats, the valve opens.
Yeah.
And then when the heart relaxes, the valve closes.
Yeah.
And it has to have precise positioning of the valve, or else when the heart relaxes, the valve won't quite close.
Mm.
And you can have a little bit of backflow, or we call it regurgitation. And, you know, think of how many times your heart beats in a day. Even if it's one little, you know, one little half of a cc, that backflow is going to increase and increase and increase and increase.
Thank you.
Over time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a system breakdown,
Right.
and
Right.
sores happen.
Right.
You know, wounds, sores, leakage. Sometimes the pressure is so much that the skin will just start to weep because there's just no more room.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe one of the recommendations we would start with anyone who's got any kind of health issue would begin with like a detoxification. You know, I was mentioning to someone yesterday, they were talking about losing weight and trying to change their diet. And I said, that's a good start. However, you have a high toxic buildup to begin with. And so what you're going to need to do is remove a lot of the toxicity that's in the way. As Dr. Singletary mentioned, there are some foods that will cause inflammation on the digestive tract and thereby impair the body's ability to even absorb nutrients. So there's a cleanup that has to be done in the process of starting something new. And then you want proper nutrition. So for you said, is this your father, you said, or uncle?
My uncle, yeah.
Your uncle. So yeah, your father's brother. What you want to do is maybe you could share with him some of your Kangen, your platinum Kangen water you got over there at the 8.5 level.
Yes.
Only.
Yes, no.
And then let him drink that at about 4 liters a day over a 30-day period, if you might be able to keep up with that much. And then look for results as his body begins to detox. Yeah, it might help the body to be able to release, you know, toxicity, and then thereby begin to, you know, regulate that fluid buildup that Dr. Singletary is talking about is going on in his body. And then we can just recommend some basic nutrients for him. So he's got really good supplements coming in. That you know, 1-2 punch might be the good combination that can help him get along a little more. You would start with the core when anyone has a health issue: detoxification and nutrition.
Yeah, thank you, and Dr. Singleton, thank you. Would the Ukon product assist with
right? And you've got some Ukon, I think, right? Is that you?
Yes.
Yeah, I would give him that. In the UK, the packaging is different than in the US. So in the US, you would have him take 5 capsules a day, but in the UK packaging, it's a different nutrient. The way they the amount of turmeric they're using is different. So you take 3 capsules of the Ukon per day for him is what he would take. It's anti-inflammatory, which once again will help. You combine that with the Kangen water, you've got a good win situation. And there are some nutrients in there that would help him. We got another supplement we would recommend as well, but start with those 2 things because you have them in hand, the Kangen water and the Ukon. And with the Ukon, it's a turmeric, and turmeric has cell repair features to it, and anti-inflammatory, energizing. You know, you could see a big jump. And so right now, I imagine with the swelling of his ankles and his legs, he's probably also got high blood pressure or something going on as well, I imagine.
I'd definitely, I can't confirm that, but I'd say, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And we could also talk offline with Dr. Singletary and you, and maybe him as well on the Zoom link if you want to go over more details. But definitely start with the 4 liters a day on the Kangen water, 8.5. And the 3 capsules a day of the Ukon from the Kangen water that you have. And the 8.5 is because when a person, it's each 8.5, 9.0, and 9.5 are different levels of antioxidant strength. And whenever we start with someone who's beginning for the first time, we always only ever give them 8.5, because the higher levels can detox at a rate higher than their body may be able to handle, particularly if they've never had a detox before, and we want to keep them, at a rate their body can comfortably remove toxicity. And if he happens to be overweight in any way, you also maintain at 8.5 for a longer period of time, sometimes 6 months or a year, because you don't want to, at any time, we're carrying extra weight, your body can also have a bit too strong of a detox at a time. There's a high toxic load when you've got higher fatty cell content in the body. So keep them 8.5, then look for results, and we'll do some follow-up. Yeah, you're welcome. Pleasure.
I'll unmute now, if I may.
Yes, sir, you may. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you.
Pleasure. And I see someone else here who asked a question, Dr. Secretary Vernita. Would poor oral health cause afibrillation? Is that the question?
Atrial fibrillation, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So again, we don't really look at individual diagnoses, right? But what is atrial fibrillation? It is an irregular heartbeat. So the electrical system of the heart has been somehow extra stimulated, or is somehow having a different pacemaker fire, or or has a loop, an electrical loop. Well, all of those things can happen with inflammation. So you can connect the dots very easily. Now, more likely atrial fibrillation, which if you look at, I'm trying to think, when did I talk about the anatomy of the heart? Because I think
recently, I think I remember something.
I think I've pulled that up. But the electrical system of the heart, it's part of your nervous system, right? And that system is controlled by the vagus, or it's triggered by the vagus
nerve that came up
the
with
wanderer,
right,
cranial nerve 10. Now the controls for that nerve are in the brain, and so those signals go from your brain down your spinal cord, down that nerve, into the heart. It also goes to many other areas, including the gut. But one possibility is that the vagus nerve is being pinched somewhere along the way, causing a malfunction in the electrical pacemaker of the heart. So many things can be at play when you're looking at atrial fibrillation. Usually your doctor doesn't say, well, you got arthritis in your spine, which is causing your atrial fibrillation. They usually don't go there. But that is a possibility. They usually don't go to, well, it's chronic inflammation from inflammation somewhere else. So, that's both of those scenarios are higher level thinking. What they think is, oh, there's a problem with your pacemaker. We need to take a burning electrode and put it into your heart and burn that tissue that's misfiring. Well, it wasn't such a good idea for Elijah Cummings. And that doesn't get to the root of the problem when they do that. So.
Wow. So yeah, sometimes we have to start with some of the basics before we start probing and tiddling about in someone's body with all these different,
I
archaic methods. I think I'd have to put it.
Someone gave me, really sophisticated, advanced technology allowing us to do archaic things.
Well said.
Someone gave me, wanted me to consult with someone, a gentleman of a certain age, and weight with diabetes and kidney disease. And, he did remind me a lot of my father. And I just challenged him to go 30 days without bread. He was like, oh, no. He would not do it. He would not. I was like, okay, what I have, it might help you a little, but really the problem is your fork is what you're putting into your mouth. So he did not. I followed up with him, but he didn't pick up the phone anymore.
Right. All right. So, so far, so thank you all for coming to the call today and asking all of your questions and taking the time to join in with us. Really have enjoyed our time with you all. Last thing, Terry.
Before you close out, I just wanted to make sure that I share with everyone, the replay will be in the what's it called? YouTube, right?
Okay.
On our Kangen Water radio station. But I pulled up an article that I will include in the show notes. 15 incredibly heart healthy foods.
Ooh, beautiful.
Now,
solutions.
I only endorse 13 and a half. So I'll just scroll quickly and tell you leafy green vegetables, whole grains. Okay, this only gets a half of an endorsement because wheat, barley, rye, and oats have gluten, which is the enemy of chronic gut health.
Right.
But rice is gluten-free. Buckwheat, quinoa, these are gluten-free grains. So only half an endorsement for number 2.
Dr. Secretary, can I pause you for one quick moment?
Of course.
Just so we don't miss someone. I see we had someone here named, Janifa, who had a question, a new person there. I don't want to lose them before we close out. If we can ask her to unmute very quickly. And I see that we've got Juanita there too. But just very quickly, Janifa Arzu, are you there? We saw you had your hand raised for a moment. I'd like to get your question before we are closing out as we're doing our closing summaries. So I'm triggering her to unmute. And if you just unmute yourself, Janifa, we could take your question. Love to have it.
Hi, it wasn't a question. It was just a thumbs up for the great information.
Well, thank you for the thumbs up. Where about you in the world? Are you in the United States or overseas? Or?
I'm in New York in the United States.
Nice.
Yes. And I've been very interested in the Kangen water
machines.
The machines, yes, but I just wanted more information and get a little bit more educated on it. So when I saw your invitation, I decided to hop on and I'm getting much more information than I anticipated. But it's very good information. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Janifa. Yeah, we're here every Wednesday and Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, USA. And I'll be sure to look into our system for your name, and I'll send you an email that will give you a nice videos that we have and detailed information. And then you can contact me about the machines, and I'll help you in different ways that you can acquire them. You can,
okay.
Got all kind of payment plans, all kind of things like that too. So my pleasure, Janifa.
Okay.
Great. Thank you for the thumbs up.
Great. Thanks. Thank you.
Sure.
All right.
Pleasure. So Dr. Singh, you were saying something about that.
Well, I'll include the article with the show notes.
Good. And so lastly, we got one last hand raised. And so I thank you all for coming to the call as well as we're about to close out here on the Kangen Water Health Information Call. Today, we learned that the heart can build up in inflammation from various sources, from your gums to your dentistry, to your food intake, to various types of toxins that can affect the body. We always have to remember that the dentistry, the teeth, is in your body. It is medical. It is your health, and oftentimes it is separated because you have a doctor that takes care of the body. You've got a dentist that takes care of the mouth, but the mouth is the body. Quiet as it is kept, and so what goes on in here affects what goes on in here. Yes, the whole body. Yeah. So we will keep these things in mind. We learned as well that Kangen water is an antioxidant water. And when you drink it, it detoxes your body, which is letting your body better able to maintain its pH, because your body is already self-regulating in maintaining its own pH and does not require you to eat something alkaline or drink something alkaline to achieve that. You can drink and eat acidic foods that are organic, like oranges, grapefruits, pineapples. Guess what? They are acidic, but they're what, right? Healthy for you, right? So you can eat acidic foods. There's no danger in that. They've just got to be non-toxic and non-toxic forming. Then you can eat alkaline foods, green leafy vegetables. I don't know what else is like, apples, I think, fruits, right? But it doesn't require an acidity or alkalinity to shift its pH. Takes nutrients from both alkaline and acidic foods that are organic and healthy, and creates your energy for which it self-regulates. So we remember all these things to keep those in mind. We are the Kangen Water Health and Information Call, here to help you and give information you need, contact at any time. So before we roll out that secretary, I think we've got Juanita with a raised hand. Is that right?
Indeed.
Mm. So, dear Juanita from the Pacific Northwest of the United States of America, you have a question. Or is she still there?
Yes, I am.
All right. All right. What is your question? Welcome aboard. Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the
Thank you.
call.
Well, have you seen, I've been wandering around this boarding house I'm in, and I wanted to show you, I think I can do this. Right here is one of the trays that Lucina, my caregiver, and I have been freezing. We're buying out the farmer's market, and we're freezing this. So in the winter, we can have, in here, I've got some green beans and potatoes and kale and fish, a lot of good seafood.
That's a really good
Also,
strategy.
Thank you.
The next level of that is a food saver, a food vacuum system, so that
Okay.
stored without
Well,
air, they'll last
did get
longer and get less chances of freezer burn. But
Mhm.
yeah, definitely. But
And
just
we're
make sure and get
using
all the
this.
air you can out of those packets. Ooh, a pressure cooker.
I got my pressure cooker and I've only used it twice. In today, actually at 10:45, I looked at the clock. I put this, and don't say a thing, Dr. Lisa, but this was a solid, fresh, naturally sweet Italian sausage. It was solid. I put it in my Kangen water 9.5 bucket here, and it is thawed out almost completely. So some of the things that people don't tell us about these beautiful machines, I've had the privilege of having mine for 12 years.
Mm.
Dr. Lisa, I went and bought myself a matrix. This is to test my blood. And Lucina's teaching me in the morning before I eat. And I'm trying to read this. And I haven't bought anything in a pharmacy in, I tell you, 5 years. I forgot all this paperwork.
What does that meter do? Is that a blood reader for glucose, or what is it reading?
Yes. Self-monitoring blood glucose test strips.
All right.
And we were trying to figure out why my balance is off. Okay. And I'm changing food, I'm changing diet. I was diagnosed with a cranial nerve, pinched nerve. So Dr. Lisa, where does that relate to my spine or my organ that I should be working on?
Which nerve is pinched?
It said cranial, all the chiropractor told me was cranial pinched nerves.
So it's, I mean, what he's telling you is all in your head, right?
Exactly. That pretty much sums it up.
No, so if you look
And
at the
down my
skull,
hallway.
your skull is a hard bone. It's a hard encased cavity. And in order for anything to get from the inside to the outside, such as your eyeball, right, there has to be a hole. So the optic nerve goes through a hole back into your brain. The olfactory nerve has a hole that it goes through to get from out here where it's smelling stuff back into your brain, where it's telling your brain the popcorn is burning or whatever, you know, the interpretation of the smell is. So, and you got 12 cranial nerves. You got cranial nerves that go from your ear into the brain, from your tongue, from your, you know, so every nerve in your cranial that comes out of your brain or goes into your brain has to go through a hole in your skull. And the big hole, which is the foramen magnum, is where your spinal cord goes through. And that's the biggest hole. The foramen magnum actually means big hole. So that's where your spinal cord leaves your brain stem and goes through the foramen magnum and down into your, the brain stem becomes the spinal cord. So any of those can be squeezed if arthritis starts to develop, or, any kind of alteration in the structure, any kind of imbalance. So just saying that your cranial nerves are, what do you say?
Pinched.
Pinched, right. So, that can happen if the holes are getting overgrown with inflammation. That can happen if you sleep wrong, and the nerves get pinched just from physically being just a mechanical maldistribution. That a lot of things can cause nerves to be pinched. So he's giving you a whole lot of possibilities of what's really going on, or he's trying to he's making it too general. So
right. I think I need to get him to be more specific.
He needs to be more specific, and he should be able to tie whatever nerve is being pinched to whatever's happening with you. You said your balance. Well, that's part of your 8th cranial nerve, your vestibular cochlear nerve, and that's near your auditory nerve, which is how you hear, and that's why a lot of people get ringing in the ears when there's pinching in that area. But you need more information.
And mine was caused by when I was displaced. Remember when I was having to go to that hotel twice? And that's when the walker came into place in the scooter. Well, that came last week. And it's a beautiful day, just so you can see the beautiful Northwest. Today, gorgeous. But last week I was telling Dr. Lisa and Mr. Hope, we tried to get a hold of you yesterday and we could not. But I met a gentleman named Cornelius. And Cornelius was at the Knights of Columbus when I went to exchange the walker. And Cornelius actually came in after I did, and he only had one leg. And of course, Juanita hugging my Kangen water bottle right there, which I need to find a resource to get more bags, Mr. Hope. Cornelius, I addressed him and I asked him what happened. Did he mind? And it was the only 2 of us and 5 veterans, all older men, shooting the, you know what. And I reached down and I touched Cornelius at the knee as they were sizing me for the walker in the scooter. And I said, excuse me, sir, but may I ask you, what is this? And he says, my leg. And I said, but what happened? And he said, diabetes. And it was a prosthetic leg. And as I'm hugging my water bottle, I say to him, sir, what is your name? And he said, Cornelius. And I said, like in the Bible, right? And he said, yes. And I said, what happened? And he said, diabetes. And I said, I got tears in my eyes because my mother passed from diabetes and I didn't have this wonderful technology when she was alive. So he told me his story. And I said, have you ever seen this or heard of this company, Enagic? And then I got, the 3 of the 5 veterans are kind of like, who? And I said, Enagic. It's a Japanese company that came to America years ago, and I was introduced to this technology 12 years ago, and I have not drank tap water in 12 years, maybe 3 glasses. Well, come to find out, he wants to know more about it. So he's coming over. He was going to come over yesterday, and we were going to show him this beautiful liquid gold we have sitting here on the counter. And he had a little bit of asthma going on. So he wants to know, and I sent him the 10-minute video, why Kangen water, and he watched it, which that's a really good sign right there. We learned years ago how to do this method. And then we did a 3-way call with Margie. And Margie, being the scientific woman she is, and she wants really nothing to do with the business, she did a beautiful explanation on a 3-way. When we were done, the gentleman wants to buy the machine. So I call Enagic, and I call you, and I call Omar Ramirez here on the West Coast, who's the first Hispanic millionaire with Enagic, and my brother in the Lord. He does the Bible challenge every day with me. And I couldn't get a hold of anybody. Then I called Dr. Lisa, and Lisa tried to get a hold of you, and you were busy. So then I called Enagic, and Enagic told me my status and suggested, put me on hold. I was with the sales department, and they looked up both of my ID numbers, and I asked them, where would I place him? What would be the smartest thing to do? And as she put me on hold to talk to somebody else, which I believe it was a supervisor or a co-employee, that, and I don't even know if Enagic has people in the office, if they're working from home or what these days, but she suggested that I sign up, and my options, I want to buy maybe another machine. Okay, so travel, platinum, K8, I'm not sure quite yet. And, or do I want to go Ukon? So that's where I was calling you, Mr. Hope, and asking what the best way to do.
Well, in that case, if you're going to buy another product, are you joining? If you wanted to, you could join our team under Dr. Singletary with a new product. If you wanted to, you'd be part of our Kangen Water Nation network. And oh my goodness,
my Lord.
Juanita is part of our team. Oh Lord Jesus, what are we going to do now?
Oh Lord, wouldn't that be an answer to prayer? I've
Yeah.
kind of been your co-host throughout the years anyway.
I see that. But yeah,
and
if you want to buy another product, and if you want to join, if you've been inactive, is that what Enagic been saying? You could join under Dr. Lisa Singletary, and we'll all be linked up, you, me, and her that way, and we can go forward in presenting for your new customers and all that, because we do that worldwide. And if anytime someone's not an active customer, and they're not connected with their upline or whatever they were doing, they always welcome to join another team. That's the way Enagic sets it up, and people can travel as they like to. And we welcome you to Kangen Water Nation, Juanita, if you'd like to come on board and you'll be our Northwest representative. You've been with us for so long so far, it seems. Quite something.
Well, I called Vernita this morning after I talked to Margie and told Margie I'm not playing chit chat no more. I don't want to learn about Roku. I don't want to learn anything about then Enagic right now. And I want to recommit my life, in my time, in my energy to what I know works. And there is an incredible business behind it, which, like when I told Vernita this morning, I said, he doesn't want to join the business just like all of us. None of us did this for the business. Mm-hmm. And Vernita, because then I asked him yesterday, I started to form him, family, occupation, recreation, money. And I asked him where his family's from, because he's Black as well. Mm. And I'm not laughing at the Blacks, because I look at me. But he went home instantly and told his sister, because I said, how do you get around? He says, just like you, in a car or my electric scooter. And I said, well, I'm not going to guarantee you nothing. All I know is that if you come over here and start drinking this water, you're going to be a walking testimony.
Well, let me pause you right there, because we're over time right now on the call, and you and I, Dr. Singletary, will catch up and go ahead and bring you into the team and help your new people that want to come and learn more and we will be one big happy family. Juanita has joined Congo Water Nation. Oh my God, what are we gonna do now? But amen, let's just go forward. So Juanita,
Just a quick question.
Go ahead.
Where do you get your water bottle source?
You have options. Enagic sells water bags. You can buy those if you want. But I will just take from the supermarket spring water bottles that has spring water in them. I will dump that out because those plastic bottles are pretty solid at this point sitting in the store, although the water in them is contaminated from how they were processed.
Mhm.
I will dump that out, purify the bottle with beauty water, and fill them with Kangen, whether glass or plastic, hard plastic, and it works just fine. Although one bottle, I definitely warn everybody to avoid completely, but like the plague, avoid Dasani water bottles for any reuse. Something's in that plastic that causes your water to be toxic, no matter what you put in it. Because I've used it before, and the ORP went off the slot the other direction after it went through a Dasani bottle. And I was like, okay, this something's wrong. What in the world are they doing? So never use that thing. But glass and the other hard plastic bottles, or even some spring water bottles, you can clean them with beauty water and then fill them with Kangen water and share your water with people. It's a very inexpensive way to get water sharing going with other people. So let me pause you there, Juanita, so we can go ahead and close out, and let me catch up with you and Dr. Sinclair after the call, okay?
Okay. And I was just showing you, this is a treetop apple juice bottle that Lucina's son drinks this, and then he's saving these for his mama and me.
Those are ideal. That's glass, right?
Yes.
That's
1
glass.
gallon.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's ideal. That's ideal.
Okay.
So I recommend those highly.
Okay, great.
And water tastes better in glass anyway. So when you can do it,
So
glass is highly. Yeah.
we'll schedule a time to the 3 of us, okay?
Oh yeah. We can get together later on after the call lecture.
Okay.
All right. Lovely. Wonderful. Welcome aboard. All right. All right. Love you. Talk to you later. All right, now let's get on going. So, well, thank you all for coming to the Congo Water Health Information Call Worldwide International, from here in the U.S., coast to coast, New York to the Southwest, Northwest Washington State, to the United Kingdom, to Dubai, to all over the world. Someone asked the question: can atrial fibrillation be inherited? Be cautious about hearing about inherited diseases. You have to remember that people who live in the same environments, whether they're family members or friends, they're always exposed to the same environments. And sometimes those nutrients that they're taking in that may be junk foods and bad foods, or just kind of like part of the family culture. And everyone can end up with the same health conditions because they're doing the same things. So be careful about genetic concept for your issues of health. It's not always the real issue. The real issue is what is the environment that everyone's exposed to. Everyone drinks the wrong Kool-Aid, everyone gets the same bad results, right? So careful with all that. And love to see you here on the Congo Water Health Information Call again. Once again, we're here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. UK. Where are we? Let's go coast to coast worldwide. 1 p.m. USA, Eastern time, 10 a.m. Pacific time USA, 6 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday in the United Kingdom, 6 p.m. in Nigeria, 10:30 p.m. in India. Welcome all who join us from India. 10:30 p.m. in India. We saw you on the call. We saw you were here. We enjoy you having you aboard. Next time, go ahead and you can ask questions if you'd like as well. And all worldwide, we'll all be connected. So glad to have you all here. Come again. Tell your friends. Love to have you, Dr. Singletary.
We love you all. See you on Saturday.
Oh, let me give you one last quick thing before we get that blow kiss. Let me give them just one real quick thing, just a quick reminder. I didn't mean to hold back your kiss, Dr. Secretary. It's so lovely. So remember, our phone numbers worldwide in the USA, coast to coast, USA, 866-526-4368, 866-526-4368. Do a quick control print snapshot of that so you can keep it in your records. In the United Kingdom, from Wales to England to Scotland to Northern Ireland, 0800-086-9793. 0800-086-9793. If you're in Dubai, 0800-018-589, 0800-018-589 in Dubai, and use our websites. All of them will come to the same links: CongoWaterNation.com worldwide, CongoWaterLondon.co.uk throughout the UK and of course EU, CongoWaterDubai.com over there in Dubai. Thank you all for coming to the call. and the affections of Dr. Singletary are with you. Dr. Singletary.
Mwah. See you Saturday.
Love you all. Take care. See you then. All right. Cheers.